Hello and welcome to IU Newsnet. I'm Brad Davis. At the 2017 Big Ten Wrestling Tournament, IU saw 4 Hoosiers qualify for the Wrestling National Championships in St. Louis. We'll also tell you about how fraternities are raising money for a good cause with a hockey stick and a puck. All up next on IU Newsnet. And I'm Brad Davis. We begin tonight's episode on the hardwood as the IU men's basketball team finished up their regular season this week. Thanks, guys. Simon Skjodt Assembly Hall hosted some wrestling this past weekend for the first time in 11 years. The IU women's basketball team traveled to Indianapolis for the Big Ten tournament in hopes of adding to their postseason resume. Former President Barack Obama left the top job after 8 years and flew west to California for a family vacation. Identifying doctor shopping is only one facet. Jim and IU researchers emphasize that it's important to be aware and seek help for anyone you may presume is suffering from opioid addiction. Following a nail-biting victory against Northwestern in the men's basketball team's last game at home this season, Indiana went on the road to Mackey Arena to play Purdue. And finally, the IU softball team went west for the Judy Garman Classic in California last week. The Hoosiers came into the tournament riding high after posting a 4-1 record in the Sanford UAB Classic the previous weekend. An art form 10,000 years old, largely ignored by the fine arts community throughout history, is finally starting to get some shine here at IU.
Over the years, thousands of IU students have climbed the stairs in the Fine Arts building leading to the Grunwald Gallery, an exhibition space to use for showcasing a variety of artists and art forms. But scale those stairs today, and you'll discover something the thousands of students before never got the chance to see. Until February 3rd, the Grunwald Gallery will be host to Indiana Tattoo History and Legacy, an exhibit showcasing Indiana's tattoo culture. Potential members go through an application process in order to live at Helms Deep, producing a diverse group of members who all pitch in a hand, or paw in some cases, for the greater good of the group. The record for overdose transports in a day stands at 11. Bloomington Senator Mark Stoops recently introduced a bill that, among other things, would allow naloxone to be administered in schools.
Maybe they went out on their lunch hour and shot up. Maybe they're addicted, maybe they were just experimenting, they come back into school and then they have this overdose.
While naloxone has helped save lives, some people debate its effectiveness by saying that it simply provides addicts a safer way to get high and thus doesn't really help get to the root of the problem.
It has been used as a crutch. We've seen it. Okay, I can go ahead and shoot up. I've got my Narcan.
In some cases, victims may have to be administered multiple dosages. Because of this, frequent use renders naloxone less effective, but it remains one of only a few options for fighting this issue.
I had a $7 million record deal and I had no trouble trading that for my Percocets.
Indiana is at war. Opioid addiction has ravaged the state, bringing forth a state of emergency called by the Attorney General. Former addict Jim Reiser is one of the people on the front lines because he knows how powerful addiction can be.
I manipulated the physician into giving me IV drugs. I had Demerol in my refrigerator. I was shooting up in class. I mean, it was crazy.
This was Jim 13 years ago, performing for thousands one second and crumbling from addiction in his private moments the next. Now 17 years sober, Jim spends his time delving into his various hobbies and helping former addicts. Karamia Trigos is someone responsible for making sure Coach Gardner's expectations are met this upcoming year. The hard-hitting senior has seen the program steadily improve over her 4 years, and as the program evolved, so have her priorities. Taking Coach Ramiro's old position is Ryan Miller, a former manager and volunteer coach who came back to the Indiana family after a successful stint coaching tennis at Hanover College.
Both Coach Loring and Ramiro have been great mentors to me, and so kind of almost grew up in this tennis center. So it's pretty neat experience to be back and be able to give back to the program that gave me so much during my time here.
We think that it is important to understand the mechanisms that drive the spread of misinformation in social media because we assume that people don't want to be manipulated.
Fake news. It's a new buzz phrase popularized over the past couple months, and IU is fighting back. Filippo Menzer is an IU informatics professor responsible for helping create Hoaxy, a project which analyzes how and why fake news spreads. Essentially how it works is you search a keyword, select debunked articles, and then Hoaxy shows you how the news is disseminated.
Bloomington would seem like an unlikely destination for the resettlement of primarily Muslim refugee families after a Muslim woman was attacked outside this cafe in the past year. But Diane says that quick and comprehensive response by the city government and the Bloomington community actually helped spur the resettlement.
When the families arrive, sponsor groups will help assure that their transition is as easy as possible. But former Sudanese refugee Yasmin Fashir asserts that it's important for the refugees to keep their sense of identity.
I think the biggest piece of advice that I have to give refugee families is to maintain their dignity and to understand that no matter what, that they're still worth it and they're still people at the end of the day. No matter how people treat them, that they deserve to be here.